Hello visitors and employees, welcome to the terminal. This film concerns the safety of everyone and is aimed at illustrating the dangers and risks which are present in a terminal. Regardless of whether you are a visitor, contractor or employee, please help us by adhering strictly to the following safety instructions. It is simply in the nature of a tank terminal in which mineral oil and petroleum products are handled that easily inflammable, explosive and even toxic compounds are present. Please pay close attention to all the information because it serves your safety and ours. Also bear in mind that an accident in a tank terminal can be the cause of unforeseen environmental pollution. Before entering the terminal premises, every visitor or contractor must report at the gate using the call button. At the entrance to the office building, each person is handed a document which contains the most important safety regulations. Please read it through carefully. By applying their signature, visitors confirm that they have understood the instructions and will observe them. After copying their identity card, visitors receive a visitor's pass which must be worn where it is easily visible. Employees and possibly contractors from external companies receive an access transponder which serves for terminal access authorization. It is also referred to as an FOB. By the way, if you lose your access transponder or FOB, you will be requested to pay an administration fee of €25. Each person with access authorization must then watch this safety video for the necessary information concerning essential safety aspects. Company employees and contractors from external companies also receive separate training on specific issues. Visitors must always follow the direct route described to their destination and never enter any facilities without an escort from company personnel. Apart from a few exceptions, such as in the office building, it is compulsory to wear personal protective equipment, PPE. This comprises a flame retardant, anti-static protective overall, Category S3 safety boots, protective helmet and glasses, and do not forget protective gloves or ear protectors if necessary. At this point, we would like to provide some general information on entering and driving on the terminal premises. The use of mobile phones is forbidden, except in allocated buildings such as the office building. Please adhere to this. Vehicles are only allowed to enter the terminal premises with written approval. Basic road traffic regulations apply. For good reason, the top speed is set to 30 km an hour. 10 km an hour may not be exceeded inside the truck loading area. Violations result in a driving ban within the tank terminal. Also, please observe the no entry signs located in particularly dangerous areas of the site. With regard to entering the site or driving around it, you will now see a short scene emphasizing how not to behave. Within the terminal premises, you are only allowed to park on one side of the road. If, for instance, a vehicle has already parked on the right-hand side of the road, you may only park your vehicle on the right-hand side. Boxing in sources of water for firefighting and hydrants is generally strictly forbidden. A minimum distance of 10 meters to them must be observed. Vehicles must not be locked. Special permission is required to take pictures on the terminal premises. Alcohol and intoxicants are strictly forbidden throughout the entire terminal. A clear head is a condition for working safely. Smoking and the use of naked flames are obviously strictly prohibited in the terminal with highly flammable substances. Smoking areas, which are specifically signposted, are provided for those who smoke. If you are in any doubt, simply ask a member of staff who will willingly provide the necessary information. You may only take your breaks for breakfast and lunch in the rooms provided for the purpose. The specifically marked areas are equipped with visual signs. If you hear the alarm siren, pay close attention to the loudspeaker announcements. Please note that test alarms are carried out every Monday at 10 a.m. at the ship loading facilities and at 11 a.m. on the terminal premises. If it is not a test alarm, stop working immediately, switch off the engine and get out of the vehicle, which must remain unlocked. Leave the danger area immediately, paying attention to the wind direction, and go instantly to one of the assembly points. These are located in the following areas: in front of the administration building, on the corner of Street M and Street 18 near Tank 1, Street A beside Substation 5 by Tank 66, the tanker filling facility, Street M by Tank 70, and in the ship loading areas, corner building, ponton and jetty Fritz 1. Terminal personnel will then give you further instructions. In the case of an alarm, the terminal's own fire brigade will come into action. The completion of work in all areas of the tank terminal is subject to authorization. Here in the Work Permit Centre is where all work is coordinated and the various work permits and access authorizations are provided. Please fill out the relevant forms accurately because they not only affect your safety but also that of your colleagues. Pay special attention to the information concerning approval for hot works. Such hot work authorization is required for all welding, burning, soldering and work involving naked flames, as well as drilling, grinding, hammering, pressing or operating non-explosive protective equipment, aggregates and vehicles within the X zone. Cold work authorization is required for all activities that will not be undertaken within the area of normal operations, as well as the regular workplace, such as that completed in the workshop or outside contractors' construction areas. Access authorization is required for all work in narrow and confined spaces. This applies to access to underground systems, manholes, canals and streams, as well as containers, tanks, boilers, and for any further access. Access authorization is also required for climbing onto any rooftops of the floating roof tanks. Another procedure is applicable for excavation work, and it must be strictly adhered to. In particular areas where inflammable gases may be present, you must use manhole covers. These are listed in the work permit. The company fire department provides the necessary safety equipment necessary for your work. For example, fire extinguisher or gas alarm device, safety harness and breathing protection. Generally, the terminal operator is your contact person for all areas of the terminal and therefore also for your workplace. He is an important link in the safety chain. The lockout-tagout LOTO procedure is applied as an important preliminary safety measure. It is only implemented by specially trained personnel, the so-called LOTO coordinators. The procedure is illustrated here by the example of shutting down a pump. Before a work permit is granted, the pump is emptied and secured by operations. This is only verified when the terminal operator has signed the work permit, after which you can begin your task. Pay attention to warning signs and safety arrangements and carry out your job in a calm and level-headed way. Dangerous substances on the terminal premises are always marked. Should you have to work in these areas, observe the respective operation instructions. The implementation of the prevailing safety regulations is also controlled by regular safety rounds. These are carried out in all areas of the terminal. Completing work in narrow and confined spaces during terminal operation represents activities with high risk potential. Therefore, the basic regulations are defined in a process instruction. This includes room air analysis, access authorization, wearing of high visibility vests, presence of safety guards and special safety equipment, amongst other things. This is illustrated here by the roll gliss implemented by the company fire department. In particular areas where inflammable gases may be present, you must use manhole covers. These are listed in the work permit. In the case of grinding work, manhole covers must always be used, as well as screening against flying sparks and full face helmet. In some areas of the terminal, which are specifically signposted, it is compulsory to carry a hydrogen sulfide warning device. An easily visible label, valid for 1 year, on the helmet confirms that you have received the applicable safety instructions. It is also essential that you check that you have an escape mask with you. It could save your life. Hydrogen sulfide is a highly poisonous and explosive gas which develops during refining. It is colourless, combustible, and recognized by its pungent smell of rotten eggs. The devious aspect of hydrogen sulfide is that even in small concentrations between 50 and 150 ppm, it can no longer be smelled after 2 or 3 breaths. The hydrogen sulfide molecules, however, continue to restrict the transportation of oxygen in the blood on a large scale. If, despite the safety measures, hydrogen sulfide should escape, remain as calm as possible and act in a level-headed manner. Put your escape mask on. In this case, hold your breath, loosen the closing strap and place the mouthpiece over your mouth and nose. When doing so, press the mask on your mouth so that no ambient air can get in. Don't forget, the escape mask is not a working mask. It offers protection for a few minutes and therefore serves to help your escape and your own rescue. It is a matter of life and death, so every second counts. The concentration of gas in the air is measured in parts per million, abbreviated to ppm. Metaphorically speaking, 1 ppm roughly represents 1 cube of sugar in a tank with a volume of 1 cubic meter. 10 ppm corresponds to the maximum allowable concentration at the place of work. From a value of 10 ppm, the hydrogen sulfide warning device alerts you to the risk. A concentration in excess of 50 ppm in the respiratory air causes irritation to the eyes and mucous membranes. If the air is contaminated by 500 to 1000 ppm, just 1 breath is sufficient to cause a loss of consciousness and subsequent death. Bear this in mind at all times, and always wear heavy-duty respiratory equipment when opening lines which feed hydrogen sulfide. The same safety regulations applicable for landward terminal premises also generally apply in the shiploading facilities, taking additional local risks into account. Please note that you are on open sea, which often has high waves and strong currents. Special training is also provided for this purpose. Dear visitors and colleagues, that's about it. We urgently request that you take the information you have just seen and heard to heart. Only by paying full attention and adhering strictly to the relevant safety regulations is it possible for us all to prevent accidents. Should you discover anything out of the ordinary, regardless of what you have seen and heard here, report it immediately to the control room or the fire department control centre. They know how to classify the information and will take the necessary measures. Your safety reflects the safety of all colleagues. And only then, when the job is complete, can you say, "Job done and safely."